Welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish. Let's see. Not a whole lot going on the past week of the wrestling world. Let's see, my Raiders are playing tonight against Green Bay. That should be horrible, actually. I hate to say that, but they are not looking good. I'm sorry. They need to fire Josh McDaniels. Green Bay's probably gonna slaughter them. Thinking here, but Derek Carr did very well. What was it, 34, 35, 34, I think, to nothing against the Patriots, which makes it even better because it was against the Patriots. But I'm happy about that at least. I like seeing Derek Carr doing well. I really do. Never should have been treated the way he was in Las Vegas. But let's think here. Obviously, Saturday we had Fastlane. A few things happening there. A few feel-good moments. A lot of the baby faces winning, We had the tag team titles exchange hands, and that kind of surprised me, especially the way they did. I didn't think that Judgment Day was going to lose the titles like that. I really didn't. Especially not to Cody and Jey Uso. Kind of makes me wonder what the heck the bloodline storyline is going to entail further on down the line. If this changes plans to have Cody having the title off of Roman Reigns, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know why they did this storyline, but I'm interested to kind of see what happens from here, though. We had LA Knight and John Cena taking the win from the Bloodline. Obviously, now we've got Roman Reigns coming back on Friday. I don't know if he's gonna. I already know he's gonna be pissed off to come back to some losses. Be interesting to see what happens there, because that's going to obviously propel the storyline along. Is he going to rip the bloodline apart? I don't know. I don't think now is the time to do it. I don't think it's the right way to do it. I think they should continue to build the bloodline up and keep Roman Reigns strong. I don't think that's the right way to do it, but interesting take. It kind of makes me wonder if they did to kind of satisfy the fans and have LA Knight have a big win, especially alongside John Cena. Really cool. Obviously fans pop big time for that, and for good reason. LA Knight's doing an awesome job, and he's gotten himself over. I loved him as Eli Drake in NWA and what outside of WWE. So it's good to see him finally getting his due, and I'm glad to see that. Is he gonna be world champion? I really don't think they're gonna put the belt on him. I'm sorry. I think he's gonna be one of those guys that's always in the mix, but never quite gets it. Always a bridesmaid kind of. I don't think he'll get the belt. I'm sorry. I just think at his age, I think they're too worried about injury, too worried about retirement and other issues that could come along with someone being in their 40s kind of thing. Because if I'm not mistaken, he is 41, which is probably the only reason why they haven't put a belt on Damian Priest yet. And I thought for sure he was going to cash in that Money in the Bank case last night. I even rewatched the pay-per-view but I continued watching it yesterday because I had to go to bed as I work early Sunday morning. I got to get up at 4, so I ended up not seeing the whole thing as it happened live. I had to go back and rewatch a lot of it. Thank you for Peacock having that replay feature, thankfully. But I was kind of shocked that he didn't turn it in and do something with it. I wonder what's going on, as do all of us with the whole Rhea Ripley and Paul Heyman alliance there, and what's going to eventually happen with that. That's you would think it would build up both factions, and why? Maybe that is why they took the belt off of them now, because they're going to utilize the bloodline to help get those back and utilize bloodline to get some victories. I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Friday Night SmackDown. See what's going on. You know, probably my favorite match of the night, I have to say, was, and this shocks me that I'm going to say this, but was probably the Seth Rollins Shinsuke Nakamura match. It was probably the most visceral match of the night. With some good spots, you know, and Rollins ended up pulling it out. There was a lot of doubt going into this. I really thought that they might just use this as an opportunity to take the belt off of Rollins. I know I'm beginning to think they kind of played us with the whole back injury thing. I'm beginning to think that the whole injuries aren't as severe as what Rollins was talking about, and they're just playing that up for storylines, quite possibly, because they kept the belt on him. So we'll see where this goes from here. I think this is probably the end of the feud, though. I don't see him taking this very much longer, but I would like to see Nakamura continue in this capacity as this kind of slow, methodical, plotting heel assassin type role. I think he does very well in it, and I think it's much better than the goofy comical character they've had him in. I think he really is made for this role, and it fits him extremely well. I'd like to see him continue this and continue to utilize this as a character. But aside from that, well, Io Sky retained. And it's funny, I kind of count her as a baby face, even though she technically damage controls our heels, obviously. But she's getting a pop and she's getting over through her own ability, because she is good. She is good, and she's appealing to the fans, which is great, and because I like her a lot. She has some great matches. Flair got kind of left out of a lot of that, so I don't know if that was to kind of diminish her role in that and not make her look weak, but Asuka took pin, and they Io retained the belt, which I was hoping they would do. I want to see her continue with this and see how far they get this. We had Jade Cargill arrive in the pre-show. I wasn't sure if they were going to utilize her during the pay-per-view. I think that would have been cool if they, at least had her make some kind of appearance. I don't know if she showed up at all during the pay-per-view. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mixing that up, but I do recall her getting out of the limo and appearing, being greeted by Triple H, and I don't know how they what else they did with that. I'll have to kind of rewatch and go through it. I don't recall her playing any type of role in the PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, premium live event. It's going to take me a long time to get used to saying premium live event. I apologize. It just doesn't ring as true or as nicely as pay-per-view. And they still are pay-per-views, because if you look on Sling or any of the Comcast or any of the cable providers or streaming services, you can still purchase them for like $44 or $49, something along those lines. So they are still technically pay-per-views. So I'm probably going to continue referring them as that, even though I watch them all on Peacock. Let's see. Obviously, more CM Punk rumors swirling about. Some cryptic tweets coming out of the situation. I know that, was it Corey Graves who said something about riding on the edge of a lightning bolt or something along those lines for Seth Rollins' win. So whether or not they're alluding to a return or not, I know Punk posted a tweet with a panel from a comic book with Iron Man and Dr. Doom, kind of alluding to he might have signed some agreement lately. So whether or not that's true or whether or not they're just playing us, we'll find out. I've heard from very reliable sources that both Punk and AJ Lee are returning to WWE, but we'll see. I know Punk has been trying to make amends with a lot of people, and we'll see what happens there. My question is, who gets control of Collision now? I'd like to say, I don't know if they've given that over to Bryan Danielson or if they've even Edge could be an amazing impact on that locker room if they let him be. Get rid of, I know they won't do this, I'm sorry, but get rid of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and let them go off and have their little things in Japan. And let some of the older WWE guys take over and right the ship, because I don't know. It's just that product is just looking like a mess right now. I'm sorry. Not a fan of the current state of AEW, and they have some really great wrestlers that I love, and it's heartbreaking to watch. I mean, I love Darby Allin, I love Sting, Edge, Chris Jericho, even though he's been kind of dropping the ball lately. Personally, I think he's spread way too thin with everything he's doing with the podcast, with the whole Fozzy career, with the wrestling, and being kind of a backstage influence. I think they're just expecting way too much out of this guy and spreading him way too thin. That's my own opinion, because I know it's like when you've got a billion things going on, and you tend to lose focus of some of the things in your peripheral, and it hurts the situation. So I think that Edge could definitely help out and take over and help in that role of being the elder statesman and kind of helping in the locker room. I think this guy could really do that. I mean, obviously early on in his career, he had some controversial moments, like with the cheating and cheating with Lita on Matt and all that. That's our, yeah, did I phrase that correctly? Yeah. It's, obviously he wasn't cheating on Matt, but, that whole Matt Hardy, that whole situation, they've obviously made amends. I mean, Matt has his marriage with Rebby, which she seems to be ride or die, and it seems to be a great situation with those guys. And same thing with Edge. I mean, he found Beth Phoenix, who does that little intro portion to Meddling as his intro theme. She did that overdub in there, that kind of thing. Was "You Think You Know Me" or whatever. So obviously he's a really good situation with the family, and he's the type of guy. You kind of look at him. I know some other podcasters made the joke of the new metal dad kind of thing going on, but that's okay. That's really okay, because they need that type of person in that locker room. Someone who has some maturity and a great wrestling mind. That guy is a student of the game, and he might not have ever had the technical ability of a Bryan Danielson, but from a story angle and a promo angle and just telling a story, period, he knows what he's doing. I know, like, some of his matches have been kind of paint by numbers kind of thing, but you know what? Some of these guys maybe need some of that structure. I don't know, because, like I said, I mean, this needs this. I mean, if they had been able to, I know Edge was probably brought in partially because of the absence of CM Punk, but if they had been able to bring him in with CM Punk being there, I think this company could be really strong. And like I said, gotten rid of some of the EVPs that they're just poison in the locker room and really helping destroy this company. But I know Khan doesn't want to do that, and they're probably part of the reason why Cody left the company to begin with. So it's sad. It's sad because initially I think Cody was part of that influence and part of what brought everything together. But I think he just had too many opposing forces that weren't allowing him to do his job, and that's sad. That's really sad, because this competition is a good thing. AEW helped elevate WWE. WWE has helped elevate AEW, just like WCW did so with WWE, and even TNA in their heyday. I mean, you can't understate how important competition is. I can't, or I should say, you can't overstate it. You can understate it, because it's been understated repeatedly. Competition is a good thing, but the problem is WWE doesn't see AEW's competition, and they're not. They're really not. I mean, we're talking about currently the Tuesday Night Wars. Somebody asked my opinion on this, because Tuesday night we're going to have AEW and we're going to have NXT on, battling each other, quote unquote, in the ratings. And I know with NXT, they're pulling everyone they can off the main roster into NXT for that night. They're going to have Paul Heyman, John Cena, blah, 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 blah. They're probably going to dig up some wrestlers and prop them up. I don't know. To try to get some kind of ratings pop. Because, the problem is, I don't think the AEW audience is the same as the NXT audience. I don't think that AEW is going to detract from NXT, and I don't think NXT is going to detract from AEW. I really don't. The NXT guys are probably the diehard WWE guys tuning in to see who's coming up through development that they can see on the main roster someday. And the AEW guys hate WWE for the hardcore ones do, actually. I mean, I watch AEW, but I'm not of that opinion. So I don't think either one will hurt either's base viewership. And I'll probably be tuning into AEW live, to tell you the truth. Just because I follow the product and it interests me more. And from a podcast standpoint, it makes more sense for me to talk about the second biggest promotion rather than NXT. But I'll definitely be paying attention to what's going on NXT at night, so I can have something to talk about and kind of form my own opinion there. Yeah, but the Tuesday Night Wars, I really don't think is existent. I really don't think WWE sees AEW as any type of threat. I'm sorry. People out there that AEW diehards that think that it is, I don't see that anymore, because I think WWE, I'm sure they pay attention to AEW, but don't see it as a gigantic threat. They've got everything in their arsenal. They've got a system in place with the way they do their contracts. They've been through the WCW, WWE, Monday Night Wars. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing, and they're a publicly owned, multi-billion-dollar company. So it's I don't see anybody unfortunately kind of usurping this juggernaut that WWE is. Let me think here. Like I said, there's more and more talks of Punk possibly joining WWE. I think you're going to see him on Survivor Series, or you're going to see possibly a vignette or some appearance. I do. Despite what, Bischoff had some interesting things to say that, you're going to get popping in Chicago, regardless of whether he shows up or not. It's wasted money. I don't think he ever liked Punk, to tell you the truth. I don't think he ever saw Punk as a draw. I think, though, what Punk did with AEW was clearly an indication that, yes, he is a draw. He is obviously a draw, and the commotion he made and the eyes that he drew to AEW. I mean, the network gave them another show to highlight CM Punk. They don't just hand those out. That's something that, millions of dollars they take into into heart, and they're not just going to hand that out to anybody. So I think that that CM Punk is a draw, still. And I'll be extremely interested in Survivor Series. I'll be tuned in, watching it, partly because of that, Survivor Series has been kind of weird lately in the past few years. I kind of wish they'd return to a similar format that they used to have with the teams and everything. I think that was, even with the brand split, maybe, with SmackDown versus Raw. And one year I know they did brand split with even introducing NXT, which became very interesting, and trying to elevate them. So we'll see what they do there, but definitely my main purpose of viewing is to see if CM Punk does indeed show up, and And that's my primary focus right there, because I am a fan, and despite what Eric Bischoff says, I do think CM Punk is a draw, and I think he does make money. And I think that's proven through the ratings and the numbers with AEW and the ticket sales. And now the lack of them, because now he's gone from Collision. The ratings for Collision have absolutely tanked. So it's horrible, because there were a lot of guys I liked on Collision. Miro, Hobbs, just a bunch of guys that I really liked on Collision. That Malachi, jeez, no, House of Black. I enjoyed immensely in FTR. Which I heard recently that they have trademarked CMFTR. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's a sad situation. I think it was handled very poorly from Tony Khan. But aside from that, and now, what was I gonna say? Obviously we got that to look forward to. Got a few other things. We had the Tuesday Night Wars coming up. Yay! In the comments below, please, if anybody, please respond and tell me who you're going to be watching Tuesday night. Please, I'm begging you. Because I'd really like to see who people are actually going to be watching on Tuesday night. And to tell you the honest truth, like I said, I don't think it makes a difference. I don't think their ratings for either one is going to be affected too greatly. I think the NXT ratings are going to go up because they have a bunch of main roster names that are coming down to NXT for that event, for that one-time event kind of thing, quote unquote Tuesday Night Wars, but we'll see. Another thing happened on AEW. We had the return of Wardlow. I'm real glad to see him come back. Really glad. He's one of my favorite AEW guys, and good to see him. Got rid of the hair, the ponytail, and kind of going with a cleaner cut now, which is I think looks great on him. So I hope he keeps this look. I really do. He came out and did a squash match. I'm hoping they continue to push him. There's lots of rumors going around. I know they've been having this storyline with beat down in the back with the Bullet Club. Especially Jay White getting beat down by the guy with the devil mask who stole it from MJF. A lot of rumors are saying that this is Jack Perry, this Jungle Boy. I hope not. I don't want to see that dude ever again. I'm sorry. After the crap that happened between him and CM Punk, I don't want to see this guy ever again. I'm sorry. I just want to be done with the company if he does come back, and I got to endure more nonsense from it, which is too bad because he really did look to be a very promising wrestler, great ability, smaller guy, but so what? Worked great in a tag team situation, and he's a good wrestler. He is. I'm not going to deny that from him, but comes out off as such an entitled brat and really made a mistake at All In, which cost CM Punk his job, and not happy about that, and they need to dump him. I'm sorry. Aside from that, that's about it. I'm gonna have to start wrapping up here. I got about 4 minutes left, but thank you for tuning in. Go check out Then and Now downtown Trenton. Check out our stuff. We got a booth there. Got some handcrafted stuff from my wife. Check us out there. Check us out. CrushingKayfabe.com is still under works right now. Unfortunately, that should be up and running very soon, but unfortunately, I'm still working on that. I'm trying to think what else. But while you're waiting for that to happen, check us out on Patreon. Just $1 a month, and you can help. With things like the website and the lights here and whatnot, help with some expenses. Just a $1 a month, ad free. And really help out immensely. Check that out. So, other than that, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, pretty much everything except Apple iTunes. Their podcast system, unfortunately, there's been some kind of weird billing thing which I can't work out. I don't know what the heck is going on with Apple, but pretty much everywhere else you can find the show. Let's see. Continue prayers for Ukraine, now for Israel. Horrific situation going on there, and now that they're at war, which continue prayers and thoughts for them. Other than that, I apologize to the people who were expecting to come out and see me in Humboldt. Unfortunately, I still have no idea what happened with that situation. Was told some kind of budgetary thing. That's the type of thing you figure out early on, I think, especially when I get booked in June. But hey, I hope everybody did go out there, had a good time, and I hope the artists that were there, got a lot of support and made some money and did some good things, because I'm sure that there were some vendors and artists there that were really good. So hopefully everybody had a good time, enjoyed that. But yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in, and God bless.